Welcome back to On Base Live. I am your host, Mookie Betts, and today we got 2020 World Series champion and my teammate, Kiké Hernández. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Not much. Enjoying the view of Lake Erie, one of the 4 Great Lakes, as I was listening to you pre-interview.
Yeah, do you know the 4 Great Lakes?
I don't, bro. Whenever people ask me that question, I say, no speak English, no from this country, no sé, papi.
I didn't know any of them until I just knew there were. I don't even know if there are 4. I just know that there are Great Lakes. We'll just go out. There are, and now I did learn today Lake Erie is one of them. So kids stay in school. So you're in Boston. You came back to L.A. How have you enjoyed it back in L.A.? I would say home.
It's been great. It's been great. Once I learned about the trade, everything happened quick because I had to be on a flight in like 5 hours, and I didn't know what to think. Mm-hmm. And got off the plane at like 2 in the morning, and I had to be at the field at 8:30 in the morning the next day.
Yeah,
day game. So I didn't really get to feel much till after that first game, and we had a day off, so we had solid over 24 hours to think about what just happened, and it was really cool. It was exciting. I hadn't been back in LA since 2020, and I always thought that I was going to go back for the first time as a visiting player, and I got to go back wearing white again, which was really cool.
Nice. Okay, so take me through the process, because you're playing, and obviously you're in Boston, so every year they're trying to win, and you're going through and you kind of see the writing that's kind of on the wall. Kiké, you may get traded. You're probably going to get traded, and then you eventually do. So, take me through that, because people don't know it's not like they just call you, boom, you're traded, Sometimes it's kind of like a process. I guess there is. Sometimes it is. They call you and boom, you're traded. So I want to know about your process. How was it?
Yeah. Kind of went through it last year, not knowing what was going to happen, uncertainty. Last year, the deal. Veterans, as you know, get traded when they're on expiring contracts and the teams aren't doing so well. And last year I figured I was going to get traded. Didn't happen. I got to go back for one more year, and I guess things didn't go my way. Playing time went a little bit down, and eventually it became kind of I was the odd man out, and my agent started getting calls, and he was like, hey, man, I think they're shopping you, I don't want you to, be thinking about that when you're playing, but I also
how did you not think about that while you're playing?
Well, I got myself thinking one day during the game, just thinking about where I was going to end up, and I was not there, and I was like, all right, this needs to stop. This is too much. You may be traded, you might not be traded. So the only thing you can do is control what you can, and at this moment is play the game. And it became a distraction for one game, and that was more than enough for me to tell myself, all right, stop. Once we're here, we can't think about it. If you want to think about it while you're at home, then go ahead. But while we're here, we're just thinking about baseball. We're focusing on today, and it's kind of inevitable sometimes when your family reads things online and they start asking questions and all. And I guess there was, like I said, a couple multiple calls with my agent, other teams and stuff, and found out the Dodgers were.
Yeah, what happened what was your thoughts when you heard the Dodgers were in?
I was like, this is weird. I didn't really know what to think. I didn't think that it was going to happen. It was just one of those things, one of those teams, checking boxes, calling and trying to find out what was what. And the day that it happened, and it just came to fruition, and we didn't have BP that day, and they told me about 2:00, and they're like, hey, this trade is happening. It's in the 1 year line. We want you to hear from us. We don't want you to hear from the media. And then I went back out. The media's still in the locker room, so I can't clear my locker because the media's there. They don't know anything yet. So I just hung out with my still teammates at the time, and we had a little gathering, little event happening in the weight room that day. Somebody lost a bet. So that thing went through, and I allowed the media to clear the locker room. And once it was time, I had to pick up my locker that had 3 years of belongings, figure out what I needed for the next week or so, figure out what I needed to ship home, what I needed to ship to LA, and then got to go home. And
so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. You got told in enough time, and it wasn't. And you were going back to LA, which, I mean, if you were going to get traded, I mean, I guess that's a good place to come, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, obviously expiring deal, you want to like have your like personal market go up or whatever when it comes to free agency, but I still care about winning more than anything. And I want to be in a place where I'm going to win. And for me, getting traded to LA was probably best case scenario. Going back to familiarity, working with hitting coaches that knew me, the little things, trainers, coaching staff,
all those things,
clubhouse guys, like they're all the same. So I knowing everybody is huge when it comes to change of scenery.
Yeah.
It's the second time I got traded in season, and the first time I didn't know a single person on the team, and that was rough. It was rough because you're trying to learn a new team, you're trying to learn personnel, every single teammate of yours, and it's just, when you're not yourself, when you don't feel yourself, you don't feel like you can produce the same way.
And you got to go play.
So you're uncomfortable. And for me, being able to go back, different group of guys, but there's at the same time still like half of the guys I've played with, the other half I've played against them. So it's not like I had to come in and get to know 25 other guys. So that part was made it easier.
Smooth. Made it smooth. Okay, so there's this game called on base, off base, in or out. I'm going to play with you. The first thing is serious engagement photos. Are you in or out on those?
I am beyond out.
Beyond out. So tell me about these engagement photos that you took, how it came about. Not much you do is serious, and that's not a knock or anything. It's just you love having fun, you love laughing, you love joking, and so knowing that you took silly engagement photos is the perfect depiction of Kiké Hernández. So tell me about him.
All right, we live in a social media era.
Right.
Everything has to be a nice photo shoot to post and do it for the clout and all that. We gotta look all cute and shit. And we got engaged. I told my wife, we're not taking engagement photos. Like I don't like looking at the camera and like trying to look pretty and all that. Like that's not my type of photo shoot. That shit makes me uncomfortable. One day we're watching a movie called Masterminds. We see this couple, Zach Galifianakis, and I forget the name of the girl. She's in Saturday Night Live, and they get engaged in the movie, and they take this photo shoot as we recreated it in these pictures. And
that's awesome.
I tell my wife, I was like, hey, if you want to do those pictures, I'll do those engagement pictures, thinking there's no way she's going to say yes. I married her for a reason, right?
Yeah, she said yes.
I'm all in, and sure enough, we found the most absurd outfits that we could find, as close to the movie as possible, and we reached out to a photographer, and when the photographer heard about the idea, she could not be more stoked. So
that is awesome.
We went to a random park in Arizona, and we took these beautiful, super serious, beautiful engagement pictures.
And so that's what you used to send out to people, like, hey, we're getting save the dates. Did you put that on the save the dates?
Oh, no, yeah, people already knew. This was for the Instagram clout.
Oh, this is just for Instagram. It wasn't like send out or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think we used them here and there for other reasons, but yeah, no, that was to let the world know,
That picture right there.
Yeah, this is the couple of the century.
That's the thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Appreciate that.
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on base, off base, you personally have the greatest windup in MLB history. Are you on base or off base on that?
I'm on base. I will say it doesn't correlate with my record or my ERA. But I mean, the mechanics, you can't deny them.
They look awesome. So when you got the pitch, before you even got up there and you're leading it up and you see the writing on the wall, like you may have the pitch. What was going through your head?
Well, when position players get to pitch, especially for the first time,
Yep.
The occasion is very different. It's usually a blowout game.
Mm-hmm.
I am playing second base this game, and I had just gotten back from the dugout, and I am 0 for 7 at the plate.
So you were over. That means the extra inning game.
We are in the top of the 16th inning.
Oh, it got out of hand.
And the game is tied.
The game is tied, and you're pitching. Okay.
We run out of bullpen arms.
Okay.
Dave Roberts looks at me and goes, "Hey, if we don't score, you're pitching." I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, "Yeah, you're in." I look out of the bullpen, and Rich Hill is getting loose. Rich Hill is like rapidly getting loose, and he, at the time he wasn't 80 yet. He was like 62.
Yeah, he was.
And it takes him a while, and he starts going, and I guess he was going to pitch if we took the lead, but if it stayed tied, it was up to us, up to me. And then I had like 5 people come up to me, and they're like, "Don't you dare start throwing hard, just lob it, whatever." And my heart is just racing. I'm not listening to anybody. I'm like, let's score a run.
So you don't
like
have to
I haven't.
So you didn't really want to pitch
in a tied game?
Yeah, just in general.
I mean, no. I wanted to pitch in a blowout.
Oh, okay, you're really
not in a tied game.
Yeah, tied game. That's nerve-wracking because then you feel like you lose the game.
Yeah, and I go out there. First pitch I throw, I get Nick Williams to ball got in on him a little bit, and in my head I'm like, this mound looks way closer to the plate than the plate looks from the mound when you're hitting. I was like, I feel like I'm going to hit this dude's helmet whenever I release the ball. I feel that close. First pitch, it gets in on him, but I haven't been on a mound in, 20 years. Ball gets hit in the gap, and I think it's a fucking tank. I look back, and Bellinger's running out there like a dinosaur, in the gap. Full extension, gets it. I'm like, oh, man, 1 for 1. Let's go. This is easy. Next guy, I can't throw a strike. Walk him. Next guy, walk him. And then we get to Trevor Plouffe.
So 2 walks.
2 walks. 1 out, runner first and second. Trevor Plouffe at the plate. I get him on 2 strikes. I don't know how we got there. And then I throw him an ephus, which had a chance of catching the corner. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. And Yasmani Grandal clanks it. I don't get the call strike. And I'm like, man, I made my pitch. I used my best pitch, the ephus. Now I don't know what to do. Next pitch, I throw it 80%. It was like a pitch out. It was in the other batter's box. And Trevor Plouffe just absolutely launches his baseball. We're in Philly, and the ball lands almost in the bullpen over the stands. It can go in the bullpen by center field, but then there's stands.
Yeah.
And it has to go over the stands to get in the bullpen. The ball almost goes in there. Walk-off, 3-run homer.
At least it was quick though. You didn't have to stay out there for a while.
I know. The walk to the dugout felt like forever though. And then I get in that locker room, and you can hear people thinking. It is so quiet, you can hear people thinking. And I sit in my locker, and I'm like, man, this is by far the worst game in the history of baseball on a personal level.
Yep.
But I can't even be mad.
No.
I got to experience this. So I'm
the only part you really were mad at is the 0 for 7.
Right. So I open nobody's saying a word. Nobody knows how to feel. This is 2 a.m. We got a game at noon the next day.
Oh.
And I just go, hey, guys, has any of you ever gone 0 for 7 at the plate and lost the game on the mound? Everybody started laughing. Nobody cared anymore. Good. True story, though. That year, we had to play a game 163.
It was that
because
year.
The division was tied. So we could have potentially lost the division because I got on the mound in a tied game.
Hey, but it's all right, though. You're just making history.
Only position player ever to give up a walk-off homer. Humble brag. Even more humble brag. Only 2 guys to go 0 for 7 at the plate and lose the game on the mound. Me and Babe Ruth. Not many people can be on the list.
Nobody.
Just you and Babe Ruth.
That's a list of 2. That's hard to make.
Good luck, Shohei.
All right, so one more. I got one more. What about on base, off base? The Dodgers uniforms are more classic than the Red Sox.
I think that's on base. I think the Dodger white is the best uniform in baseball.
I think it's the most classic uniform in baseball.
I agree.
Yeah, I love putting it on. Not even just because it's the Dodgers and any other. It's just the uniform is just dope.
It's a good fit. It's hard for that uniform to not look on look good on somebody.
And you can wear it many different ways, many different colors, whatever you want.
Oh, I know about that.
Yeah,
I got about 8 different set of pants, like 20 different color cleats.
You do.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going back to Boston in a couple of days. And how do you think it'll feel for you going back? Like a little weird?
It'll be a little weird, but not as weird as going back to L.A. I feel like it took me almost 3 years to go back to L.A., and it's only going to take me like 3 weeks to go back to Boston. So, getting it out of the way quick is kind of like a good feeling, and I'm looking forward to it because everything happened so quick I didn't get to say bye to everybody over there. Yeah. So it'd be good to get some closure.
So, and then this will be my first time going back since 2019. I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous. And not necessarily... It's more just that I haven't been back in so long. And it's like where I grew up, and I don't know what to expect. Hopefully it's cool though. I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna go in there and see the clubhouse. The clubhouse is new. A lot of new things, a lot of new faces. I'm more excited to see the people, though. The people are what I remember the most. They made the most of the experience. So, you got any advice for me, bro?
I think you're gonna love it, man. I think you're gonna be filled with love. The locker room is nice. The visiting locker room you've never been in. It's not so nice.
Okay.
But the home news side is nice. I can tell those fans love you, bro. They still do. I saw a lot of number 50 jerseys still every day. So they miss you, bro. You did a lot for that team.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. We'll see how it plays out. So, but you had a bobblehead that came, but then you got traded, but they still gave out the bobblehead, and there was a note, right? You had a sticky note. What did it say? How did that come about?
It was kind of among the words that I used during my Instagram post that I got to, put into words during the flight to LA, and Raquel reached out to me.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yep.
And she was like, "Hey, Kiké, still crying.
Yep.
We have this bobblehead coming up. Is it okay for you that if we still give it out? It's not a Red Sox bobblehead, it's a WBC bobblehead." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many bobbleheads do you have?" And she's like, 8,500. And I was like, "All right, well, I don't need 8,500 for my family.
No, you don't.
I just need a little box so I can take care of my family, my loved ones, and they're going to love this bobblehead because it's got the WBC uniform on. And, you got my blessing." And she asked if I wanted to write anything, and I was like, "Yeah, I would love for you to say, thank you to all the fans and to the city and everybody." And those are years that are always going to be special in my heart because, it's if I wasn't a man at 29 years old, because I'm at an age where I should be a man, then having a baby is what started making me become a man, and those are the years and the memories that you'll never forget about. It's just seeing your baby grow up in a city that it just adds that much more to it.
What about? Do you have anything off the field that happened in Boston? I don't know.Maybe did you do on any duck boat rides or anything like that? Any history? There's a lot of history.
No, I didn't. First year we were still in the middle of COVID, pandemic, and with the newborn and all that. We didn't do much. We stayed right across the street from the stadium, and last year in 2022 I got hurt, so I didn't get to travel with the team for 2 months, and that, as hard as that was physically, mentally, I got to spend a lot of time with the family, and we got to walk around Boston a lot. If I had to go back and do it all again, I would probably do more touristy stuff as far as getting to know the city a little more. But at the same time, I love living in Boston. We lived in Back Bay. I love being able to. I didn't grow up with this in Puerto Rico. Being able to walk everywhere. That was really cool to me. I was able to just go grab breakfast with the family or whatever, dinner on day games. Things like that. That was pretty cool.
And then, so then, obviously, now you're back in LA, and I think you had mentioned you didn't realize you had needed another change of scenery or whatever it is. as bad as you did. And so what was it? Why do you feel like you needed it so bad?
Well, when I was talking about that, I was talking about like playing in front of the LA fan base again. But to me, like I was having by far the worst like year of my career, like for many reasons. And you have this mentality. You can have this mentality of, all right, the season starts today, and I try to do that every single day. But it's hard when you're in the same place every day, and one way or another, you're reminded of what's going on. Yeah. And
especially in Boston.
Yeah.
Especially in Boston.
So once I get traded, I like, all right, I'm in a new team. Like, whatever happened in Boston doesn't matter anymore because they haven't seen it. Like, it hasn't been with this uniform on. Like, this is my opportunity to, like, literally start over. And nothing matters from the only thing that matters is what happens from this moment on. And I guess coming to the new team is what allowed me to change my mentality. And then on the other side, like I didn't get to play in front of these fans in 2020,
right?
Knowing that it was going to be my last year in LA. Yeah. And last game I had played in front of him was Game 5 of the NLDS in 19. That it didn't end our way. Right. So just coming back and feeling all the love, it's it's been special. I played in a lot of really loaded rosters, and for the fan base to lean on, like, give that type of love to me, like out of all the names on the team, that's something that like it's super cool. It's even hard to put into words.
Going back to 2020, because that was a crazy year, obviously with COVID and all this stuff, and during the World Series run, when we stayed in one room for a month straight, tell me about that how much you enjoyed that. Because you were with those guys for how many years?
6.
6 years. And so you guys finally got, I guess you had gotten to the World Series in 2017, but like you smelled it now, right? Oh, we can really win. We're gonna win. And so how was that going through the bubble and all that whole process? Because it's definitely different than 2017 when you were in the World Series and everything, the world was normal.
Right. 2017 we lose, fortunate events. 2018 where you ran into this machine.
Yeah, that was a pretty good team.
Yeah, and then 2019 we're supposed to win. We got the best team in baseball again. And then we go out there and we win like 106 games, and then we go out in the first round. So 2020, it was like there was a couple of us that knew that was it for us as Dodgers. It was our last chance. And we looking at it on paper after we acquired you, we're like, we got to do it this year. If we don't do it this year, it's the window doesn't last forever. Even though we're probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest franchise in baseball right now, minor league system is loaded, so like we have a potential to be good for a really long time. Like this is it for this might be it for this group that we've had for a long time, and that was by far my favorite postseason out of like the 7, including the one where I went off in Boston. Like to be able to like as a group be together for a full month, because like in a regular postseason home games, everybody plays the game and then everybody goes home. On the road, everybody goes to the same spot, but then everybody goes their own separate ways. Everybody's got family, so everybody just wants to go back into the room with their families. In the bubble, we had our families, but the hotel was open just for us. So it was like we were hanging out in the morning. During the day, we all go to the field early to go eat. And then after the game, we were all hanging out. We're all hanging out. Yeah. And then days off, we're at the hotel together all day long. So, to be able to experience that for a full month, the whole group together, getting to go through, all the ups, and then Atlanta going down, being down 3-1. So, going through all those emotions together as a group and not, the same way you would go through it together as a group if you weren't all hanging out 24/7. I think that added a little more to it, and probably the chemistry that we had that year was what allowed us to come back from down 3-1. I would also say not having days off and exploiting that bullpen helped a little bit, but that's what allowed us to come back from that. And then once we come back from down 3-1, there's no way in hell we're losing that World Series. Yeah. We smell blood then. So tell me about that during that
postseason, you had a moment against the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably one of your most embarrassing moments, I would assume.
Yeah.
And tell me about it. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so as we leave from LA from beating the Brewers in the first wild card round that we had that year, one of my molars gets infected. I had a root canal, crown gets infected, and I start hurting. I talked to the doctor, and I was like, "Hey, my molar's killing me, man. Like, I have a crown, and like it's killing me for no reason." He's like, "Oh, well, everything you're saying sounds like you have an infection. We'll send you some antibiotics. The only problem is diarrhea is a side effect." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Man, like, I have diarrhea every other day. Like, that's not new."
That's fine.
And he's like, "All right, well, go ahead." Sure enough, I get diarrhea, and on like my third day of being in this medication, we're in a big situation. I had come in the game to pinch hit for somebody, so I was in the game as a DH.
Okay.
All the positions I play, I was DHing.
Yeah.
So I'm in the dugout. I get to lead off the next inning, so I'm like full like elbow guard, batting gloves. I don't have my helmet on because it's not time yet, but whatever. We're on defense, and we punch out. I think it was D. May was pitching. I think we punched out Manny to get out of the inning, and I let go of a fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Those emotions made me make my body push, because I'm flexing, I'm excited. And a little fart comes out, okay. And I'm like, oh shit, I think I just shit. Punched my ass real quick. So I was like, I think I just shit.
So were you at this point? Were you concerned, or you were like, you know what, I gotta go? Don't even.
I had to lead off the inning. That was the third out. There was no time. It was either that or tell Doc, "Hey Doc, I can't go. Take me out."
Can't say that.
If I'm not dying, I'm not getting out of that game.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure enough, I go to the plate. My lower half is a little more slippery than usual, a little squishy, and
did that help?
It did not help at all, man.
Okay.
We all know I have some trouble focusing on a daily basis, and that just did not allow me to focus. I punched out in 3 pitches against Garrett Richards. I'll never forget. I go in the dugout. I tell Doc as I'm walking by, in front of him in the dugout after striking out on 3 pitches in a playoff game. I was like, "Hey, Doc, I just shit my pants, bro." I don't think he believes me. So I go straight down. I take my batting gloves off. I take my helmet. I put my bat, and I go running upstairs. And I yell at Alex. Okay. Like, "Alex, I think I need some sliders." To this point, I haven't realized we're wearing white yet. I get in the toilet.
You didn't even think about it.
No, not even. I just knew I shit, but I was like, "Gosh, I got 2 pairs of sliders. They'll hold up, Yeah. I get in the toilet. I take all my shit down, and I see a big stain, a little more yellow than my shirt. On the sliders.
On the sliders.
I was like, "Oh fuck!" I start dying laughing. At this point, I'm already sitting at the toilet. I can do whatever I have to do and not worry about a thing. But then I'm like, "Oh fuck, we're wearing white," and I put the sliders to the side. Sure enough,
it was on the pants.
The same stain that was on my sliders was on the white pants. On national television. No, I threw those out. I got 2 brand new pairs from sliders from Alex. I was like, "Alex, I don't know what to do with his pants." He's like, "Just throw them there. We'll figure out how to wash them." And I put a different pair of white pants, and that was the story. I made it a little longer than maybe I should have, but it was part of the process of the story. I wanted everybody to know what I was going through. And then the spring training, the Red Sox were doing a social media thing, and I was doing it with JT, and he got to ask me what was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me on a baseball field, and I was kind enough to share my experience with people and let everybody out there in the world know that we're normal people and that shit happens too, literally. And Dude Wipes heard about it.
Dude Wipes.
So
you got. Okay, keep going.
And they reached out to him. They actually tweeted, "Hey, have your team reach out to our team." And I was like, "Hey guys, look at this. What are you waiting for? Reach out. I want baby wipes." We got a deal done, and we got a lot of baby wipes. Or dude wipes, not baby wipes.
Yeah,
and I got a little bit of cash, and it's a beautiful
You got
partnership.
paid for pooping in your own pants.
Shit happens, man. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Or the antibiotics, I guess.
Yeah, or the antibiotic. There's a lot of things I would do, and that's not one of them. Not on purpose, at least. I can't even imagine. I would be sweating. I mean, whew, man.
I was, but the bat didn't last long, so.
Oh yeah, you were in and out.
It made it fast.
You were in and out. Yeah. I wonder if anybody saw it, like on the Padres.
I mean,
it probably thought you sat in some dirt or something.
Right.
Golly.
It matched your uniforms too.
I did. Yeah. All right, so let's go back to early Kiké. From Puerto Rico, grew up in Puerto Rico. Tell me about that. Like, how was playing ball in Puerto Rico when you were younger?
Yeah, so I tried to start playing baseball when I was 4. My dad took me to baseball summer camp, and after the first day, I get in the car, and he's like, how did it go? I was like, Dad, I don't want to go back.
You don't want to go back?
The sun is way too hot.
Okay. All right.
He's like, all right, well, I guess this is it. Shit. All right, well, good luck in school, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, there goes sports. 2 years later, I'm 6. I start to fall in love with Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay.
And I'm like, Dad, I want to play baseball again. So my dad found a baseball league for me right around my where we lived, and I was on the team, the Marlins, and then the Marlins team was not very competitive, and I quickly became the best player on the team. And my dad's like, hey, he needs to keep improving. We need to find another team. So we went to a different league that had better competition, and the team was also the Marlins. So I was doing double participation, and all the time I messed up uniforms. I wore the wrong Marlins uniform to the game, blah, blah, blah. But no, man, I mean, growing up in Puerto Rico, baseball is definitely the number one sport.
Yep.
Volleyball and basketball are right there behind it. Soccer is gaining a lot of popularity. But baseball is it, man.
Did you play anything else?
I play volleyball.
Volleyball?
Play volleyball all the way.
Is it beach volleyball or just regular?
No, just regular. All the way to high school, and my dad was like, when I got to high school, my dad's like, hey, man, you're going to be short. You're not going to be playing volleyball, and if you keep playing, you might mess up your shoulder, your best chances of baseball, so let's call it. I was like, all right, that's fine. That works.
Was that hard?
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard seeing your school team suck, and you know that you're better than some of those guys, but you're not allowed to play. Yeah. So that part sucks, but other than that, I mean, I think I would say it all worked out.
Yeah, it definitely worked out.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is a little different when it comes to baseball than it is in the States. The States is most of it, like most kids play in school. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's kids that play travel ball and all that, but even if you're playing travel ball, you're still playing at school. Back home, there's so many, like, it's so small and there's so many schools in each town that, like, it would be impossible to have competitive baseball if there was only, like, school leagues. We don't call it travel ball. We just call it,
baseball.
Normal baseball. Yeah, but that's what we did, and I played in a lot of different teams, a lot of different leagues. It was always about like how are we getting the best competition? How are we going to improve? My dad has a little bit of a temper, so he would argue with some people in this league. So we would have to go to a different league, and so on. So that's kind of how it went.
Did you play with any guys that? I'm trying to think all the guys from Puerto Rico. I don't even remember all the guys from Puerto Rico because there are a lot, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. Did you play with any of those guys? You play with the WBC, right?
Yeah. So some of the like bigger names are younger than me, so I didn't get to play against them, like Correa, Baez, Lindor. Yep. Correa is like 3 years younger than me. Lindor and Javier are closer to my age, but once they got to like high school, they went to study in Florida. So I never got to play against them. Yep. Maldi is way older than me. Mm-hmm. I guess Eddie Rosario, I played
about
with.
The same age though, right?
Yeah, I played with him on our senior year. We started going to like perfect game tournaments and stuff. Okay. And he was an underclass, and he was the best hitter on the team, even though he was getting drafted a year after all of us that were supposed to get drafted that year. I don't know if you remember Alex Claudio, lefty reliever with a Bugs Bunny changeup. Yeah. I played with or against him since we were like 8 years old.
Oh, so that's one of your homeboys. Like, right. You've known him forever.
Christian Vasquez.
Yeah.
I played with Vasquez when I was 7. He was 8.
Oh, okay.
He had the same size he does now. I played with some of those guys growing up, but for the most part, we didn't start playing together like against each other till high school already, but definitely seen some of those guys that you grew up playing with or against. To be in the league, it's really cool.
And then you got drafted.
I got drafted in 2009, 17-year-old
by the
Astros.
Astros. Then you bounced around a couple times, right?
I got drafted in 2009.
Yep. And you played with JD then.
We got drafted the same year. We never played on the same team. We did a bunch of instructs and mini camps and stuff together. Okay. But I think he was a 4-year senior. I was a high school senior, so I was 17. He was already 21.
Yeah.
And JT, he's just cruised through the minor league system. You could tell from the first instructs, he was hitting the ball way harder than everybody else. He was way more advanced than we were at the time, and you could always tell that he was special.
He had it. He just
right. So from the beginning, you know that he was out of that class. His bat stood out big time. But yeah, I got drafted in 2009, get to the big league in 2014.
Yeah. So tell me about that. That was that 5 years?
Yeah.
Roughly 4 and some change.
Right.
Tell me about your minor league experience.
Yeah,
because you're from Puerto Rico, right? And I'm assuming it's pretty similar to the States.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's
right? But it's a different culture, though.
Right, different culture. Puerto Rico is pretty Americanized when it comes to certain things. I got to go to Kissimmee, Florida, which is an extended town of Puerto Rico.
Isn't it Eddie Rios from there? Yeah. Okay.
So, my first year in GCL, I remember my first game. We played in Port St. Lucie against the Mets. That was my professional debut, and I hit 3 ground balls back to the pitcher.
You only had 3 at-bats?
3 at-bats. And,
so what happened? Who'd you face? Do you know? You don't remember?
I don't remember. I believe the last guy I faced that game was Juris Familia.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
that makes sense why that was a ground ball back to the pitcher. But
I was 17, bro.
You didn't know when,
kid throwing 90 in Puerto Rico is like throwing fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get to pro ball and I'm all of a sudden facing every single guy sitting 92.
Yeah.
And
92 was fast.
Yeah, at that time. And I had 3 ground balls back to the pitcher. And now I got a 2.5-hour drive back to Kissimmee in full uni. And all I can think about is how I just went 0 for 3 with 3 ground balls to the pitcher. And
Did you think not the world was going to end, but you were like, dude.
At the time, I was like, I'm never going to get a hit.
Yeah.
It felt like it was the biggest game of my life. And I was like, I flunked the test.
Yep.
So I called my mom and I'm like, hey, you were right. I should have gone to college.
Oh, okay.
This is not it.
What college were you going to?
Like he said at the beginning of the show, kids stay in school, take classes seriously. I wasn't a very good student. I had time keeping up with what the teacher was saying and then reading books. I was not very good at it. So I wasn't good enough student to go to a 4-year school.
Okay.
So I had to commit to a JUCO to have some leverage for the draft. So I was going to go to Miami-Dade College. At the time, they were #1 in the nation. So I was like, all right, if it doesn't work out in the draft, we go there, ball out in Florida for a year,
and then
win a championship, and then get drafted again. I was in my head, I'm like, I hope I don't have to go there.
Yeah,
I just want to play.
Yeah.
And next day I got a hit, and everything was fine.
Everything. So and then you went through the minor leagues. Tell me about your upper minor league experience.
I went rookie ball. The next year I went short season A ball, and then I went low A. Next year I went double A. High A, finished in double A. And then 13, I repeated double A because I was only there a month. The year before, I was 20. And I played that year. It didn't go great. It was my first experience of really struggling. And I got to go back in 14. And in 14, I had played, before going to spring training, I had played in the Caribbean World Series. So I literally played all off season and never stopped playing. Okay. And
that helped.
I came back from the Caribbean World Series 2 weeks before spring training, and I went straight to spring training, and I never stopped playing. So I was in mid-season form from day 1 in spring training, and killed spring training that year. Got to start in Double A again. Lasted 2 weeks there, and then I go to Triple A. And in Triple A, we have an interim manager, Tom Lawless. Our manager, Tony DeFrancisco, is currently away because he's getting treated for cancer. And my first month or so, I'm in AAA playing for Tom Lawless, who was the interim manager. And then Tom Lawless Tony D is about to make his comeback, and you know how we used to have those 11 a.m. games in minors,
the kids'
bunch
games.
of SpongeBob SquarePants songs and all that. We played one of those games, and we didn't know, but Tony D was waiting for us in the locker room, and we go in after the game, and he's like greeting everybody, and he goes, "Hey, you Puerto Rican, you're a good ball player." Before anything, and he goes, "How's your English?" I was expecting, "Hey, nice to meet you." And I was like, that was my English. This guy knows nothing about me, huh? And I go into full Kiké mode, and I go, English class, very good. English class, very good. So Tony D thinks I don't speak English.
Okay.
He joins the team the next day, and from that day on, for a full month, Tony D talks to me through a translator.
And so you did this. You kept it quiet for a month. Everybody knew but him.
Everybody knew but him.
So nobody took the time to go tell him.
People on the other team knew. Coaches on the other teams knew. Like, at the time, my bat was like really like starting to develop. I'm like raking in AAA. Altuve's playing second for the Astros.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I volunteered. I told them, I was like, hey, man, I can play anywhere you want me to. Like, I don't need to play second base. I just want to be in the lineup. Like, move me around. I started playing a different position every single day. Literally, like, every day, a different position.
You told Tony this?
No, I told, the team, the organization.
Okay.
So I got to AAA, and that's when I started moving around.
Okay.
And I would play infield, and I would go talk to the pitchers on the mound. And the pitchers are not Spanish speakers.
Right.
I'm speaking English by myself.
So nobody's there.
English speakers, he
attention.
is like just looking at the situation happening. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if he's thinking I'm telling him, hey man, fútbol, slide, you know. I don't know what he's thinking at the time.
Yeah.
But Gregorio Petit, he was a veteran at the time.
Yep.
He was like one day, like he calls me in the like one of those situations where you're young and you make a mistake of inexperience and like something, and he calls me in the office afterwards, and he's like, hey, I want to make sure like this time, like next time you do this, you do that, like how we do, like what will benefit you for the future so that this mistake doesn't happen again, whatever, something that happened in the game. And he called, it's just the two of us, Petit and I, and then him in a locked office. And he's telling me all this. And we're sitting on a couch like this, and he is looking at me with that same face you're looking at me right now, except he's telling me in Spanish, he's like, motherfucker, like, you need to fucking tell him. I can't do this every single time.
So Petit was the translator.
He was a translator. He was a veteran guy, you know, Venezuelan. He's like translating, and he's like, dude.
So y'all are talking about this.
Yeah, because I can understand
here.
Everything Tony's telling me right here.
Yeah.
But so it's not time to translate.
So Tony was talking to you.
Tony's talking to me. Tony talks, and then it's time for Petit to translate.
But you understood, and Petit wasn't He wasn't translating. He was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, he's like, bro, I'm not as good at it as you are. Like, you can keep a straight face.
You should translate. You could have translated.
Yeah. He's like, you're keeping a straight face. Like, I can't. I want to fucking die laughing right now. And like, I don't want to be in this position. I'm going to fuck it up for the whole team.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, you got to keep going. I decide when it stops.
Oh, you told him that?
Yeah. And then, sure enough, like a week later, the team is playing like shit. We are getting our asses whooped, 3 straight games, and he just calls every position player in his office after a day game. And he is letting us have it for like 15 minutes straight, just every cuss word in the dictionary, like every word you can think of for 15 minutes straight. Doors locked, it doesn't matter, every single person, even if there were fans, they could hear us. And this dude is like every vein in his neck and his face is popping out. And I raised my hand. And he goes, what the fuck could you want right now? And I'm like, I just want to let you know that I speak perfect English, and the whole team has been fucking with you this whole time.
In the middle of
this heated argument that he is wearing us out.
Did you get fined anything?
No, bro, because I was like, this needs to stop. Like, we've been like, he's at this point, he said this sentence 3 different times. Like, he just doesn't have anything else to say. I was like, I need to. That's what I do. I lighten the mood.
You do lighten the mood.
Sometimes I cross the line, but
that's fine.
But at this time, I was like, hey, this is the time. And I told him, and he was so embarrassed.
Did everybody?
Everybody's crying.
Yeah.
And he is like, I knew it. I knew it. And I was like, yeah, you knew it. You fucking had a translator in this office. You know, you knew it. Okay.
So Tony will always be in your memories for that.
Yes.
You still talk to him? How is he?
I haven't seen him that many more times after that. But he's still managing AAA. He's like a AAA legend, man. He knows he can be hard on players, but he knows how to get players right. Yeah.
So if I ever run into Tony, I'm going to ask him about that.
Tell him that Kiké's English is a lot better now.
Right.
I was like, Kiké's English has gotten so much better. He was on my podcast.
I know. All right. So I got this thing, superlatives, teammate superlatives, and you know what they are. Who would have the worst smelling farts? Who has the worst smelling farts on the team?
What a question.
There's one answer to this.
There's one answer, and I've said it in many outlets out there, and he gets mad every time, but it's by far the GOAT at both pitching and farting, Clayton Kershaw.
He smells horrible.
He does, yeah.
And he blames it on the greens. I don't know what it is.
He blames it on the greens now?
That's what he says.
So back in the day, he used to drink this purple milkshake, protein shake, and he was like preparing for it. Like he would, before the game, he would eat a bunch of milk and cookies. And then during the game, he would just crush this big old protein shake, purple, thick. And it was all getting ready for the flight.
See, he says he doesn't want to, but I think he loves it.
Absolutely loves it.
He absolutely loves it.
He's like, he would be laying down. He doesn't lay down anymore. He just stands up the whole flight now. But he would be laying down, and you haven't smelled it yet, but you can hear it. You can see him like vibrate because he was laughing so hard in secret.
Yeah. He knows
every single time he's dying laughing. You know, have you seen his routine when he pitches?
I stay out of his way. So when he's pitching, the only time I see him is when he's laying on the training table, sleep.
On the training table, and he's like pretending like he can't hear anybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's watching his TV or laying down, taking a nap, and you know, I made it a goal of mine in my early years. We had a couple of arguments. We discussions about it. I thought he wanted to fight me once because I distracted him, but I always try to go in the trainer's room and make him laugh during the start day. And you could tell he was getting a little distracted. His defense mechanism was like, he'd be there laying super serious, and you say something and make him laugh, and he's like, start going like this. And all of a sudden he just starts stretching his hamstring.
Oh, really?
That's his defense mechanism. He's just stretching his hammies. Yeah. But he would be laying down at that table, and he just goes, and you just,
yes,
and nobody can see him laughing. He just starts stretching his hammy. But that, you know, I missed a lot about LA, but one of the things that I missed the most was seeing 22 on that table during the start days.
Yeah, we get to see it.
To me, like, whenever, for me, you know, as getting to witness Kershaw's greatness for many years now, like, that is one of the things that's, like, I'm going to take home with me for the rest of my life. It's like, when 22 starting, it's a special day.
It is. And it's been super dope. I didn't even, what was crazy is when I was on the other side, I didn't even really know Kershaw. Because, you know, in the AL and NL, we didn't get to play you guys or anything. So, and I wasn't like a baseball junkie. So I was like, Clayton Kershaw, like, he's good, sure. But I mean, you know, whatever. And then getting here to just actually see it, it's like, oh, now I know. And I didn't even really get to see like prime Kershaw like you did. So, and he's super dope to me. So, you know, to your point, getting to see him pitch every fifth day, you know, his competitiveness and all those attributes that he has is just super dope. So let me get to the next one. So who has the worst taste in music?
On the team?
On our team.
I'm going to stir the pot, and I'm going to follow along.
Big spoon.
David Peralta.
For those of you who don't know, DP is our team DJ. So he's basically saying all the music we listen to is trash. So let's hear it. Well, why is how does DP have the worst taste?
I mean,
yeah.
I've been on the team for 3 weeks, but telling DP he's the worst DJ in the world is a big topic in our group chat.
Yeah. It is.
So I'm gonna be a good teammate and go with it.
The other day, DP was he was on the sticks. So I call it on the sticks. And I think for like an hour, we listened to the same 5 songs. And I don't think he realized it, but he was jamming. He was loving it. And I'm like, man, somebody take the sticks away from him. So I may have to, I ain't going to roll all the way with it, but semi, yeah, I may
You have to understand, he's using an iPod.
Yeah, he still has an iPod.
So his iPod might have a 5-song capacity.
Yeah, you're right.
That might be it.
Right.
But
he
I
has
have heard,
the regular iPod, the one that you, isn't it the one that you scroll?
I don't think it's that
It's not
old.
It was a small one. That's all I know.
It's one of those when the first touchscreens came out.
Oh, okay, got it. Got it.
But yeah, I have heard multiple people complain about the same 5 songs.
Yep. I mean, it probably is in play that the iPod Pro doesn't hold me.
And to a fair point, like, this doesn't bother me because 99% of the music I listen to is Spanish music. And that's why I've never been team DJ, because I want everybody to be able to, like, listen to what they want. Mm-hmm. And I know that, like, when it comes to English music, I'm not going to be the best DJ. So, but I have heard some of your countrymen complain about the fact that why are we only listening to Spanish music?
You think it has something? It's got to be DP.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be the DJs, you got to be culturally flexible.
That's why
to keep everybody happy.
That's why I love when J-Hay is on the sticks, because he mixes it up.
Yeah, he did the other at dinner, team dinner. He did it
he
the other
mixed
night.
It
yeah.
up. It was nice. He had a nice vibe going.
He had some hip hop, and then all of a sudden he spun me with some like Bad Bunny and shit. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
this steak is starting to taste better now.
J-Hay knows how to do it. Okay, the next one. Who do you think is the cheapest one on the team? The cheapest person on the team? I have my answer for this.
I know your answer.
Who is my answer?
Probably your designated hitter.
That's my answer.
I'm going to say CT because...
CT is cheaper than JD?
CT is such a simple man, bro. Like, I want to say he's still driving the same truck he's been driving since he got drafted.
Oh, yeah, then... CT don't spend
like money. It's not that he's cheap. He just
doesn't spend money.
He just doesn't spend money.
JD cheap. I'm going cheap.
That's
this year we got him to split dinner with Miggy Rowe, and that was asking a lot. That was an act of Congress, just for him to split dinner, and he doesn't want to like any bets.
Those Florida taxes.
Yeah, they kill him.
Yeah,
they kill him. So he tries to he saves his money. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with JD, even though he would say me. What about who is the most likely to have a burner account on Instagram or Twitter or whatever?
Austin Barnes.
I think it's Barnesy too.
Yeah.
I think it's Barnesy too, and it's strictly for him to stir whatever pot that needs to be stirred.
Right. Barnesy is an angry elf, and the way he releases his anger is by stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot. That's yeah. And he's awesome. I love Barnesy. I love him to death. But that's what he enjoys doing. That's his fun.
Right.
Stirring the pot is fun for him. And so
we all have roles within the clubhouse.
Yep.
His is the main pot stir.
Yep. Yeah. So if you want a rumor spread or two guys.
If you want a secret to be a secret, don't tell Barnes.
Yeah. He'll go around. He won't say the secret exactly, but he'll stir the pot to get you thinking about the secret, But that's Barnesy. That's what he does. It's what we have fun with, That's
absolutely.
That's why we love him, Yeah. Okay, so what about this? Who has the dirtiest locker?
I haven't been around that long, but that that side of the locker room where Julio, Miggy, J.Hay, those guys are, it's pretty full.
It gets messy over there, man.
It's pretty full.
It gets messy.
I'm not going to say it's dirty, but I'm going to say there's not enough room for all this stuff that's there.
I'm going to go with my boy, Lux.
Luxie's not here.
That's why his locker's been clean, because he's not here. Because if he was here, he has shoes outside, on the ground. He had a towel over here. His clothes are over here. Some random stuff in the locker. He doesn't know where anything is. That's Lux. That is Lux.
I'm glad to hear that nothing's changed.
Yeah, no, I can't say it's worse than before, but it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's better. So, G, if you're watching this, I think you'd be doing us all a solid if you just put your shoes up or something. You ain't got to do the whole thing. Or you could do the whole thing, whatever you want to do, but something. You got to do something, So
You got a couple years to get better.
A couple years to get better.
Couple years longer, and you'll get a bigger locker.
Yeah. The bigger locker, get another locker. Maybe he'll benefit from having 2 lockers. Yeah. If he messes up 2 lockers, if there was somebody that's going to do it, though, it would be him. So we'll find out real soon. So have you ever done an Immaculate Grid?
I have, yeah.
Are you good at it?
Depends on the day.
Okay. Well, we'll see about today. We're about to do an Immaculate Grid. I am really bad at them. But I usually can get like 2 to 3 answers.
All right.
And after that, you can do the rest. So the first one is Rich Hill.
Absolutely. Well, all right, yeah, I guess.
I go for the most obvious ones.
Yeah, but you could have used him for the A's, too.
Oh. Yeah, we could have.
A's in Boston, Josh Reddick.
Josh Reddick did do that. Mm-hmm. Kenley Jansen for the bottom one.
Mm-hmm. 3%.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Rare.
All right. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Cincinnati and the A's. Cincinnati and the Braves. Man, I don't know none of those. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't even know who played on. Golly, Cincinnati.
A's in Cincinnati. Is Ramon Hernandez an answer for that? A's and Reds?
Is he Puerto Rican?
No, Venezuelan catcher.
Okay.
I hope I'm right. Suspense is killing me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean it's not an answer?
Oh, there you go.
1%. Wow.
I don't even know who that guy is.
See, I'm such a minority. Hernandez at the 1%.
Pittsburgh and Cincy.
A's and Reds. Adam Duvall. Atlanta and the Reds.
Oh, yeah, Adam Duvall did. He did, huh? I don't remember him on the Cincy.
Yeah, he came up with the Giants and then got traded to the Reds.
Mm. Okay.
Pittsburgh and Reds.
I don't even know who played on Pittsburgh.
We'll get one. We'll get it.
Pittsburgh and the Reds? I got nothing. Pittsburgh in a 200K season. Was Garrett? Did Garrett Cole do that before? 200 strikeouts?
You think he did, right?
You would think so, but I don't know if he did. A's 200 strikeout season.
Barry Zito.
Yeah, you could go Barry Zito.
Or Dave Stewart.
Dave Stewart.
Did we get it wrong?
The righty for
there it is.
Braves.
Strider.
Strider, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, Strider. All right. Pittsburgh in a 200K season. I don't even know all the pitchers that pitched in Pittsburgh. Did Garrett Cole not get it? No, because then we only have two guesses left. You want to try?
Yeah. I'm thinking, you think about the 200 strikeout season, I'm thinking about who played for the Reds and the Pirates.
200 strikeouts from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't even know all the. I'm trying to remember all the names around you see in the stadium, but I don't remember the names.
I can only think of 3 pitchers right now.
From the Pirates?
Yeah, like Garrett Cole, Liriano, and Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton was a sinker baller then.
He wasn't throwing 98 then.
I don't think Liriano got to 200 Ks.
Either. You want to try Garrett Cole?
I guess.
We only got one guess.
That is, I mean, I can't think of a better guess.
I'm going to roll with Garrett Cole. We're going to roll with Garrett Cole. Hello.
84%.
And we were guessing at that? Like, we were, like, worried about that? So this one's on you.
Yeah.
Cincy and Pittsburgh. I know nothing about either one.
Clemente didn't play for the Reds.
No, he didn't play for the Reds. That was the first thing I said, but no, he didn't play for the Reds.
Their team is so young right now. The Reds, both of them are. But
nobody. It had to be somebody kind of back in the day. And I don't know any history of either one of them. I mean, we're talking who was it? Somebody on a big red machine that played on the Pirates too. But I don't even know who was on a big red machine.
We didn't have TVs in Puerto Rico yet, so.
Well, you don't either.
Damn. All right. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah. There's a button right there. It says "Give up."
Yeah.
You want to hit it?
Button's usually not an option.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with it because I ain't made it this far. So to make it this far, I'm playing with house money.
I'm going to throw a Hail Mary.
Okay.
Felix P.A. And you spell that last name like pie.
Felix P.A.
This is a long shot. What's the answer?
Yeah, what is the answer?
Or the most common one, I guess.
Do they show the answer on here?
Yeah.
I've never made it this far, so I don't know. Who? Yeah.
262 possible answers? We couldn't think of one?
Golly.
Dave Parker, no wonder.
I don't know who that is. I have no idea who that is. Sonny Gray. Oh, I guess, yeah. Well, we did good. We did good.
8 out of 9.
We did good.
Should have brought the closer in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the closer, so.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to some fan questions real quick before we wrap up, bro.
All right.
This isn't really a question. This is just because we didn't go to school. Mm-hmm. There are 5 Great Lakes.
5?
5.
Not 4.
Not 4.
So, but there's 4 additional to this one.
That's what I was saying earlier, but,
See, we're smart in other ways.
Yeah. You know. Lake Superior, Lake Michigan.
That one's in Michigan.
Yeah, I think that one's there.
Yeah.
Erie is here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Ontario.
Canada?
I would think so.
It's definitely not California.
Not California. Yeah. And I don't know what Huron. Is
that one in Japan?
Where I'm going to roll with Japan because I don't know where Huron is. But shout out to whoever for giving us.
I appreciate the 5 Great Lakes. Yeah.
So somebody asked me, was LeBron the biggest star to attend one of my games? I'm going to say no. I don't know who the biggest star is, and LeBron is huge. But you've been to many games where huge stars have come. Who has come to games that you can think of as maybe bigger than LeBron?
I'm not sure if I want to answer your question or ask a question to your question.
Whatever you want to do.
All right. If we're going based off social media, then Cristiano Ronaldo. But my question to your question is, at what point during our doubleheader did you get the script for the game telling you that you were going to go deep twice and you were going to salute the king?
So,
sports are scripted, by the way.
yeah, that was cool, man. And, I didn't when it kind of happened as I was coming around third, I was like, man, I gotta say something, right? It's cool. This is bobblehead night.
Sick bobblehead too.
Sick bobblehead, and I just looked up there, man, and saluted. I don't know. It just kind of happened.
We were all witnesses.
yeah. It was a super cool moment, man. I would say that's probably top 5 coolest moments, with all the irony that kind of happened.
It was for me too, and I wasn't even involved in it.
Yeah, see?
I remember being in the dugout, and everybody's like, "You just went deep for the second time," and there were some guys like, "Weird, he just went deep twice," and there were some other guys who were like, "Of course he went deep twice with fucking LeBron in house."
Yeah, it was. It didn't have anything to do with LeBron, but it was really cool, and having LeBron there was definitely something super dope. So.
Yeah.
I got one more question. Do you feel that LA players have the same vibe as Red Sox players?
I don't think that's a fair question. It's a different group.
I would say the same thing. And my answer to that is, players wise, it's probably going to be similar. Like dudes are dudes, right? But the market is what kind of changes guys, and not necessarily changes them for better or worse. It's just that Boston is a different market. Like you're under a microscope the whole time. So guys may not act as silly. Guys may not, I don't know, just do what dudes do like they would if they were in Pittsburgh or Baltimore or, Cleveland or somewhere like that, right? And I think that's just the difference. It's just that the market is kind of what shapes.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think, as far as vibes, the only thing that the fans get to see is what happens in the dugout.
Right.
And Dodger Stadium dugout is 5 times bigger than the one in Fenway Park is. So there is definitely not enough rooms for shenanigans to happen at Fenway Park, in the dugout at least.
Right, yep.
Because there's some weird shit that happens in the locker room.
There's a lot of weird stuff that happens.
But, it's locker room stuff.
It's locker room that stays.
Yeah.
I think we got one. Well, we do have another question. Right. It snuck through like a single. So, question for you guys: would you rather rob a homer to win a World Series or hit a walk-off homer to win the WBC?
Ooh.
Even though both of those are dope, my answer would be rob a homer to win the World Series, because the World Series is why we play.
Right.
But the WBC, man, golly, hitting a walk-off homer in the WBC to win it, there may not be a better feeling.
That's a really hard question, and man, I don't know. I think I have a lot more highlights defensively than offensively.
Right.
So let's just say I'm going to hit a walk-off homer to win the World Series, because there's a better chance that I'm going to be at the plate in that situation than there is a chance that I'm going to be in the outfield, because I play so many different spots.
Right.
Being in that situation at that time doesn't guarantee me that I'm going to be out there, even though that's the question is already there. But I'm just making up excuses to why I'm hitting a walk-off homer to win the WBC.
All right, brother. Well, thanks you for coming on, man. I'm super glad you got to come on, especially with late notice. Keeks, when we met in 20, it was kind of weird. I was kind of you can use standoffish or whatever word, maybe kind of to myself, when I came over. And you guys did awesome, right? But I just didn't know how to handle it all. I had never been anywhere but Boston, and, meeting a lot of new guys, going to Arizona. Everything was so new for me. But you and the crew, man, you guys welcomed me in, even though it took me a little time before I even practiced with you guys. I think it was like a week or something before I even practiced with y'all. And so, that meant the world to me, just to know that, y'all were just kind of waiting, hanging out, chilling. You know, Mook will come holler at us whenever he does, and you guys didn't act weird towards me, didn't do anything, man. So you welcomed me with open arms, and that meant the world to me. So thank you. I'm glad you came back. You're having fun, playing really well. So I'm just super happy to be with you, man, and glad you brought some fun, you know,
Same.
as you always do. So anyways, man, thank you for coming on, and we got a game later on, so we got to strap it in. You ready?
I'm ready. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bro.
Take us to the promised land again.
All right, guys, that's a wrap with Kiké Hernández, and we'll see you guys later on.